Here we go, folks. Welcome back to Celtic Fans TV. It's time for starting 11 prediction for tomorrow's game at Celtic Park against Hamilton. There's only one place to start tonight, though. I wanted to give my thoughts on the news today that Jeremie Frimpong looks like he's on his way to join Bayer Leverkusen for 10 or 11 million. I think this news came as a shock to everyone today. There's not been... Obviously, he was linked with Roma, Jeremie Frimpong, a couple of weeks ago, but it had all gone a little bit quiet. And I'm shocked that Bayer Leverkusen are willing to pay 10, 11 million at this moment in time for Jeremie Frimpong. I think he's a good player. I think he's got a lot of promise. He absolutely took the team by storm last season when he came in. Think about that period when about the game up with Audrey and stuff, where he was just absolutely brilliant in October last season. And I just thought he was a breath of fresh air. I think the level of entertainment he brought, he got everybody off their seats. He just really galvanised the team at that time. But I think at times this season we've been actually over-reliant on him for a creative point of view, which is worrying if he's going to leave. But obviously the thing that we've talked about all season is that lack of final ball and that poor end product, poor decision-making in the final third, maybe not getting to the byline enough, and then when he gets there not making the right decision. So I'm surprised that a team at Bayer Leverkusen's level are willing to pay 10, 11 million pounds. It will be interesting to see if the transfer does go through. It certainly looks like it at this minute in time. And to be honest, it's good business. It's actually, on one hand, I'm happy with it. I think it's an example of good business from the club to bring him in less than 2 years ago for 300 grand and then to sell him for the best part of 11 million pounds less than 2 years, as I say later, is really good business. It's like one half of a good recruitment strategy. The problem with our recruitment, even though we have these successes where we bring players in and we sell them for a huge profit, is that we don't replace them quick enough and effectively enough. For example, right back is an area of the team where we have struggled even at times this season. And as I say, maybe over-reliant on Frimpong at times. So if he's going to go, El Ahmed looks like he's trying to go back to Israel as well to be with his family. Christopher Ayers looked like our best option at right back for a while now, but we know that he's primarily a centre-half, and who knows what his future will be in the summer. So it leaves a huge hole at right back. I think we need to try and get someone into that area, but here we are on the 26th of January. We haven't made any signings. I've been off Twitter, so I'm out of the loop with all the rumours, but there doesn't look like there's anything concrete happening. I think the manager said today in his press conference that there might be a loan deal or two, but you know what it'll be. It's a typical Celtic January transfer window. It'll be bargain basement, maybe a loan deal. It will be certainly last minute. I think we're obviously in this sort of no man's land because the league season's finished. We're out of the League Cup. We're out of Europe. We've effectively nothing to play for until the Scottish Cup starts, if you like. So we're in this no man's land. We've made no signings. The manager should have been replaced already, but there's areas of the team that do need improved. But where do we find ourselves in the summer in terms of if there's going to be a new manager there and if there's going to be more first team players leaving? I think we need a right back. I think we need a centre half. I think we need a right winger. I think we really need to strengthen the team in numerous areas, but it looks like we're not going to do that. So if Frimpong does leave, at least we need to get a right back in. As I say, I'm shocked. It did come out of nowhere today, that news that Jeremie Frimpong looks to be on his way to Bayer Leverkusen. He's obviously in Germany at the minute, it would appear, negotiating the deal. So it is quite a big shock, but I think it's on one hand good business. On the other hand, we don't have a replacement lined up as far as I can see, and that's where we really have to get to. We have to, if we're going to have a high turnover of players, bring players in, try and sell them on for profit, we have to have the recruitment in place behind it where replacements are there, ready and waiting for when those players are actually eventually sold. So looking ahead to the game tomorrow, obviously off the back of no wins and 4 in the league, Neil Lennon thinks the form's not too shabby right enough, so that's all right. We've not gone 5 without a win in the league since 1998. Hamilton come into this one sitting bottom of the table, obviously. They're on 19 points. They've had 1 win in 5 games, 1 win from their last 5 league games, but so have we. That win was against Dundee United, obviously, then we had the defeat to Rangers, and then the 3 draws. So we've got to win it. As I say, not a lot to play for at this stage, but Pride's about the only thing left, so we've got to go and win it. We've got easy games coming up again against Hamilton at home tomorrow, and St Mirren at home on Saturday. Easier games, but listen, there's no game at the minute that Celtic are an absolute given for. In terms of the team, here's what I think we'll go with. I think we'll probably only see one change from the team that faced Livingston at the Tony Macaroni last Wednesday. I think Barkas will be in goals. As we've just talked at length about the situation at right back, I do expect Christopher Ajer to continue in that position. That will probably mean a centre-half pairing of Beaton alongside Shane Duffy. Again, Livingston, I think they only had maybe 2 or 3 shots on target. They scored 2 goals. As we've seen all season, it doesn't take a lot to get to this Celtic team, and that centre-half partnership of Beaton and Duffy is far from the strongest that we've seen, but I do expect them to play. At left-back, I think Greg Taylor will go out and Diego Laxalt will come back into the team. In midfield, because of the situation up front with no Edouard, I presume that Odsonne Edouard's still out. Who knows? We don't get this sort of information from the club. I might be, again, I'm out of the loop, I'm not on Twitter, but to my knowledge, they still haven't confirmed that Edouard has to extend his isolation period or that Ncham was officially the other positive test. They haven't communicated that to us. Seems like a pretty simple, straightforward thing to communicate to the supporters, but it's another example of a situation where we're kind of in the dark about exactly what's happening, so we don't know if Edouard's back or if he's not back. It wasn't covered in the press conference today, so who knows if he's available or not. But if he's not available, you'd expect it to be one up front again. That would mean a 4-2-3-1, I would think. I think it'll be Soro alongside Callum McGregor. Soro will probably take the deeper role and Callum McGregor can maybe venture further forward. In the 10, it'll be David Turnbull. On the right-hand side, you would expect Ryan Christie to play there. Again, he was poor against Livingston away last week. There's no getting away from that. We've heard about his final ball all season. I think his form has been really poor recently. But as I mentioned earlier on, that's an area that we have to strengthen in the team. We're not going to strengthen it this month, it looks like. So he has to play there by necessity, because I don't think James Forrest is anywhere near ready to start games again yet. He's probably just starting to resume proper training again, James Forrest. So it needs to be Christie. On the left-hand side, I expect Mohamed El Yunusi to keep his place there. I thought for a spell in the game against Livingston, he was good. But again, not scintillating, no brilliant. He wasn't absolutely amazing, but I think he'll keep his place on the left-hand side. And I expect Lee Griffiths to continue up front. Again, more minutes will do Lee Griffiths the world of good. And at home against Hamilton, you'd expect him to hopefully get on the score sheet tomorrow, as he couldn't do against Livingston. So I think Griffiths will lead the line. As I say, we're still in the dark with what's happening with Edouard. I don't think Ayeti's fit enough or in favour enough to start tomorrow, and I don't think Klamala's quite there either. I think Griffiths is definitely the best option if we're going to go with one up front, as it looks like we might have to. That's the team I think we'll go with tomorrow. Like the video, comment your own thoughts below. Please don't forget to subscribe if you haven't already. We'll be back tomorrow with all of the matchday content as usual. Live full-time reaction as well, here from the home of full-time reaction on Celtic Fans TV. Cheers.